Whether you've been serving communion at College Wesleyan Church for years or this is your first time, we'd like to thank you for being a part of the worship arts team as we seek to creatively facilitate the conversation of worship between God and His people each week. There are just a couple things we want you to be aware of as you enter the service you'll be assisting in. At a time following the sermon, a pastor will invite you to go to your station. Upon arriving at your table, please use the hand sanitizer made available to you. If you're an usher, go to the first pew of your assigned section and guide the people forward row by row after the pastor has invited the congregation to partake. As people come forward, remember, the server always breaks off the bread and offers it. Never allow those coming forward to break the bread off themselves. The piece of bread offered should be small enough to be eaten in one bite, but large enough to be dipped in the juice without the participants' fingers getting in the juice. Think the size of an old-school pink eraser. Some participants drop their bread in the cup or do any number of unpredictable things. If this happens, simply pull the cup away and instruct them to receive another piece of bread. We don't want any fishing. Notice where you're standing. When servers stand too far apart, the experience can begin to feel like a factory line. To allow each person an unrushed experience, stand next to the other server and turn your body in. This way, the person being served doesn't have to move from the bread to the cup, but can receive both in one moment. Don't be hasty. As you offer the bread, look the person in the eyes and say, "The body of Christ, broken for you." As you offer the cup, look the person in the eyes and say, "The blood of Christ, shed for you." If you run out of bread in the middle of serving, go to the altar, break that bread in half if it isn't already, and use that half at your station. If your cup runs dry, likewise, there's a pitcher on the altar that you can use to refill the cup. Thank you again for your willingness to participate in offering this sacrament to your fellow believer. Augustine of Hippo described sacraments as visible forms of invisible grace. And though by very definition grace is an act of God freely giving of Himself to us, we partake and are then invited to become participants in this grace to the community around us. May we not simply remember Christ's work as a past event, something only to recall and memorialize, but as the bread is broken and handed from one to another, may we feel Christ's body present now. As we dip the bread in the cup and consume it, may we taste the sweetness of His love present now. When we hear the proclamation from our brother and our sister's mouth, may we know that God is acting now in this very moment, strengthening us with His food. And then may we go, taking Christ with us, in us, continuing His work, being the bread of life for all who hunger, being the cup of compassion for a broken world.